Boom! Hello, my name is Larry Belfield, and welcome to the show. I'd like to thank you for joining me on the Belfield Show. This is episode 26, I believe. Ooh, what did or 27. We'll skip 26 and just go straight to 27. Here's what we'll do. All right, the Middle East. Now, taking this on was a challenge. Now, I have read much of the Quran and the Mormon Word, so I had some insight on their culture and their traditions and their history. Now, the reason I bring up the Mormon Word is because after reading them, I realized that all three of these texts are rooted in the same book, the Torah, which is the first 5 books of the Bible. And I was raised in the church, so anything related to the Bible, gets my heart jumping like crazy. So I thought that what a perfect time to let the Lord in. Most people aren't religious, but I am. So I was thrown out of the glorious chair of the Lord when what I started to see was a river of blood. See, then I realized that the Bible is full of war and fighting. So I started to laugh, right? Because most of these wars are documented in extreme detail, down to the emotions of the people fighting them. Okay, this history, it can't, you can't be taught. It can only be earned. You have to live the word, and you have to study the history of mankind. Now, I know most would want to start to defend their people, but however, this is about religion. Excuse me. This is about real estate. But I merely want to explain the process and history of how we've come to own property today. Now, the story of Jesus and those that believed in him is a perfect example. Now, if we could just follow it, we would live in a perfect world. However, this world isn't perfect. This world isn't even close to perfect as we like it to be. Now, when I read these stories, I was astonished to realize how accurate they were to the time-lapse mapping. So you actually see lands and cities of these people, what they did, where they went, what they left behind. The evidence and the cultural impact, you see, that's where the evidence is. We speak differently. We travel safer. We celebrate more celebrations. See, now we come down to it. Now, these men that have changed the world, they brought a lot of people together in a way where they were sustained in a permanent way. Now, it's hard to say this, but I know through modern invention, you're going to be desensitized when I tell you what happened. See, that these people, what they did by just living faithfully, by just reading and spreading knowledge, just for living together and working together, just because they gave with their full heart. They gave with the intent to actually be a giver. I want to give. That's why I'm doing this. They forgave more than anything else. See, they treated their enemies with kindness. They made sure that they were fair in all their dealings, that they were righteous. See, these people created what you now know as the law. See, the law is simple to get now. But imagine 2,000 years ago. See, if Jesus asked you to give up your coat and turn the other cheek. Well, right now you got lots of coats, right? And you have cheeks to spare. But what is really happening in the streets if Jesus has to teach this? Now, if Muhammad, peace be upon him, makes a law to pray 5 times a day, then what's going on in the heart of man? What is man thinking about to where somebody says pray 5 times a day and that stands out through all of time and history? See, all these people are not just the leaders. See, all of these people not just the leaders, were destroyed. In fact, the only real thing that stands are these few scriptures and those that believe. See, these are stories that are so gruesome that I don't even want to repeat them. See, I hate telling people bad news. So we can skip them for now. But then you would miss the greatest triumph of mankind. That's the end of this episode. The next episode, War of God.